getting pregnant, you know they're not using protections against this virus. We also have Mississippi as one of the highest rates of new infections in the U.S. We're not the highest, but we are one of the highest. Um, Another contributing factor is the criminalization of HIV. With that, if someone is tested and they're tested positive, and then they knowingly go have unprotected sex with somebody and knowingly give them HIV, they can face criminal charges. And in these criminal charges, there could be jail time, which is really scary. Now that I've explained some of what the state, what is going on in the state, I'd like to go into detail on what the state and other organizations are doing to combat this virus. Um, the Mississippi Department of Health has put together a very large referral system. In this referral system, if they have someone that comes in and does test positive, they are able to refer them to the proper services that they need for medication, mental services, and hopefully be able to get these people to understand what they're going through instead of being scared and running rampant. Because if somebody is tested positive, the first thing is they want to kill themselves. No, we don't want them to do that. We want them to understand what is going on and also understand that they can live a long and healthy life. In this referral system, they are also doing a organization referral system, which refers clients to organizations that offer free HIV testing. One of these organizations is AIDS Services Coalition, and they offer free HIV testing as well as free education to anyone who is interested in getting tested. The AIDS Services Coalition's slogan is Know Your Status. And they have recently developed a campaign that says 5 in 1, which one in five. 1 in 5 people in Mississippi do not know their status. 1 in 5 could be HIV positive and not know. With this slogan, we're trying to impact how people think about what is going on with the state. So, and another thing that the state is doing is they have encouraged an abstinence plus program for our school systems. Before, in the past, Mississippi only had abstinence in their school systems. Now, with the abstinence plus campaign, we will also encourage abstinence, but if you're going to, let's be educated on what is out there. What diseases can you come across? How to protect yourself? Precautions that you do need to take in order to protect yourself. There are a lot of individuals in Mississippi who are advocates against HIV, and most of those are HIV positive individuals that are. It's better to speak with the knowledge that you know personally. And one individual that I know, he has been HIV positive for 30 years. And it was an accident how he became HIV positive. But he goes out into the public and speaks on this virus to try and educate people and encourage them to become tested. And in sharing his story, he also tells them about this virus may not kill you, but it will completely change how you live your everyday life. You have to be very cautious. One thing about this virus is that it affects your immune system. So if you get a common cold, it could take you time to get over this cold. So you have to be cautious about going to a grocery store, gas station, restaurant, because status. It begins with people just like you